that has put our autoresponder truly in competition with the leaders in the industry, and we're doing this for free. And when I say free, I mean 100% free, unlimited use of our autoresponder. Let's show you how it works right now. The first thing you want to do is let's assume that you've already created a couple autoresponders, and I have obviously here in my test account. I'm going to click on autoresponder, and because I'm doing a recording, it's a little bit slow, so I apologize for that. And here's a different, each category, each manila box is a different campaign. I'm just going to go to this campaign here. And the first thing is that once you create a campaign, and we show videos on exactly how to create a campaign before this, and it's very easy to create a campaign. So once a campaign is created, you have the choice of using different types of HTML code that you can add onto your autoresponder, or excuse me, onto your website. Here's one that we've created that is super cool. Again, that puts us in and beyond our current competition, like the Awebers of this world. That's how cool this feature is that I'm going to show you right now. The first thing you need to do, it's actually called our opt-in form feature. Here you have not templates, but your own templates that you create on the fly. It's sexy, baby. And here it is. First thing you need to do, because in the opt-in form step-by-step guide, you're going to need your HTML code, form code, which is the name and email address, or name, email address, and cell phone. And here's a folder here, excuse me, the cell phone with required HTML code that has the cell phone required, HTML code which has the cell phone in there, but it's not required. I'm just going to grab this code right now. Here's the code right now where the cell phone is showing up, but it's not required. And I'm going to copy this. And we're going to paste it in just a minute. I'm going to go back to autoresponders. And again, it's moving a little slow when we go back into autoresponders because we're in record mode. Just wait for it. And here we are. So we're using the SMSD sign up cell phone not required form code. And if you want to see that, I actually did save it right into here, and that's the code right there. All right. Let's go to opt-in form. And as you can see, I've already created a couple opt-in forms here. I'm going to create a new opt-in form, add a new opt-in form. And it says here, select your header image from your computer, and it's optional. Well, I did actually create a header image, and I use a particular banner creator system that's very easy, and we'll talk about that at a later date. But let's click on Browse. And here is my header image that I created right here, and the other one's footer. So I click on Header, click on Open, and I click on Next. What is the width of your header image? Well, I know what the width is because I created it. It's 200 pixels wide. I click on Next. And now it asks me what my footer image is, and I find the footer image. Again, this is not a required field. It's only optional, and I've grabbed the option to do this. What's the width of it? Oh, excuse me, this is the width of the opt-in form itself. Obviously, the header and footer are going to be the same width, so it's not necessary to add that in there. And we're talking pixels, not percentage width of the website. So it's always pixels, almost always pixels. And let's say the background color is yellow. You can either choose a color by typing it in, or use one of the hexadecimal codes that, if you know how to use that, that's great. Is there going to be a border around the form box? Now, we're not going to put a border, but if we did, it would have the border would have either pixels or dotted, and you can do that at a later date, and we'll show you how to do that next time. What is the color of the border around the opt-in box? Well, there is no border. We didn't create an opt-in box border, so we're going to ignore that. The text you want to place above the form. Please complete the information below to receive your free gift. That looks good for now. Obviously, I'm making this up. But if you know anything about autoresponders, most autoresponders have a template. And that template says, you know, please receive the information below to receive your gift, or it says something different, but you can't change that. So what's happening here is that we're creating our own unique opt-in box, unique to that particular website that you want to use. So let's say that your website is black and yellow like we've been using so far. This is going to fit nicely in with the black and yellow background that you have at your website. So again, the flexibility is huge here, and flexibility is important. Next says, what's the font family that you want to use? Now here's a typo. It says Vardana instead of Verdana. We're going to click on that. And I'm going to say the size of that information above the writing above the form is 20 pixels. And the font color, it's going to be a yellow background, remember, so we'll have a black text. And it's saying, what do you want under here? Well, back here again, I'm going to show you. This is the form that we're going to be adding, and the cell phone is going to appear, but we said the cell phone is not mandatory in the form that we're using here. So if the cell phone is not mandatory, let's write this. Please add a valid cell phone, and we will send you an added gift within 24 hours. Now, as you know, with our system, our free autoresponder is free, providing you use our SMS texting service. And if they provide a telephone number, that telephone number automatically ties into our SMS texting service. And if you send out a message to this person and it comes out with an invalid telephone number, they're never going to get your free gift. So what we like to do is, I would recommend here that if they put a valid telephone number, we set up an autoresponder inside our text message system so that they get a message from us saying, congratulations, thank you for signing up, and thank you for providing us with a correct cell phone number. Here is your additional bonus gift, and you provide a link. Hopefully that makes sense on how you want to use this system. So we click on next, and it says, what's the font family for the words under the opt-in form? I'll just use Arial just to change it up. And we want to usually typically make this a little bit smaller, so I'll make that a 10 instead of 20 pixels. And what's the font color? Well, again, we're going to use black here. And it says enter the autoresponder code. This is the autoresponder code right here. And I'm just going to right click and paste it in like so. Click on next. And now it's time to give it a name. We'll call it test 106. And we click on create. Now, this is a new video. The next step, what's going to happen a little bit further beyond that, it's going to ask you to provide us with the thank you page that we want tied to the opt-in form. So for instance, let's say that the person signs up, and instead of going to the wrong or a poor thank you page, we're going to provide you with 2 standard thank you pages that you'll receive from us, and a box that will, and a section that will say, if you want to create your own thank you page, please provide us with the URL so that you can do that as well. So yes, we do have some real cool things coming. I am real excited about this, and I can't wait to show it off. So the next thing we want to do is we want to download the opt-in form, test 106, save it, save it. And now that it shows that it's saved here, I'm going to go into my downloads. Move things over a little bit. I'm going to unzip this. And as you can see, I've got a, you'll see this in a second, I've got an absolutely huge folder here. Here's my test 106. Now here's the HTML and here's the images. Both these files need to be uploaded onto the page that you want this to be added to. Okay, so let me double click this so you can see what it looks like. Now, I don't know how long that probably took us to. That probably took us, because I'm talking, it took us 10 minutes to create. But if I wasn't talking, it'd probably take me about maybe 2 minutes to create. But as you can see, I created my own header. I created my own footer. Again, those are optional. I don't need to have this. I have a yellow background. Here are a couple of things that we are working on. We're going to have padding done here so that there's a little bit more yellow on the right and left hand side because it's too far over to the right and too far over to the left. We're going to have this whole form code centered a little bit more so that the subscribe button is centered nicely. You can have this form code as wide as you want. You can have it 800 pixels wide if you want. This is really a cool thing. And as you can see where it says here, please add a valid cell phone number and we will send you an added gift within 24 hours. You can make that bigger. As you know, we only made it 10 pixels in height. We could make it 16 pixels in height and make it red so you can see it a little bit better. I hope you enjoyed what you saw and can actually see how powerful the system can be for you and your websites, because we want to make sure that you can have the opt-in form of your choice, not of some template choices. Whether you have 100 template choices or not, it's a template choice. Well, we've given you a choice that you can use anything you want. Thank you.